Our hearts were broken on July 4th, 2015, when we lost our sister, Mykal Karen Moss Daniels, from a tragic car accident. She left behind so many, including her husband Brandon, daughter Ella, and son Caden. Our grieving continues, but we also rejoice knowing her devoted life impacted so many by her daily walk with Jesus. Mykal might be gone from this earth, but her Christian walk made an impression on anyone who saw or knew her. Her love and commitment to spreading the word continues.
Hi, my name is Mandy Scott. Mykal was one of my best friends. She was unaware of how she was always building me up. Every word I spoke to her, she would literally just gasp and say to me, "You always know what to say to make me feel better." Mykal, for some reason, would come to me and ask for my opinion or my advice. I don't know why, but she was always letting me know how much I was helping her. But I don't think she realized, or I don't think she really realized how much I was watching her and trying to be more like her. She had this unreal ability to be childlike, which drew me to want to be around her just constantly. In Matthew 18:13 it says, "Truly I tell you, unless you change and become like little children, you will never enter into the kingdom of heaven."
I met her at camp. She was such a light that day, and I just gravitated to her. She brought out my light, and I'll always be grateful for her attitude, her kindness, her generosity. She was always just down to earth and fun. We could just laugh together.
Just knew every time I would come to church or go to a church event that Mykal was probably going to be there. And she's not the type of person that you have to know really well in order to like. She just, like Ina said, has a light about her, and just you automatically like her, and you feel that she liked you too. So she was fun to be around.
One thing I would tell you about Mykal is how genuine she was. You're doing good. If you were to ask me what word I would put with her, it's genuine. She was beautiful, a good Christian, kind, fun, all those things, but it's not just that she was those things and that she seemed those things. She was genuinely those things.
You knew that the Lord shined through her because she has such joy in her heart, and she never knew a stranger. When you saw Mykal, you knew you had a friend, and I think that makes the Lord most proud of her, is how she represented Him. And she was always there to talk to you, there to give you a hug, there to just wink at you across the room when you saw her at a school function. I didn't know Mykal personally at home, what her favorite color was, or what her favorite meal was, but the way how she treated you was as if you were her best friend, even though you just knew a glimpse of her life.
I don't think she ever had a bad day, but if she did, you never knew. She just loved everybody and loved the Lord, and it showed in everything that she did. Just positive, uplifting comments, like she always knew if you were having a bad day, and just the random text from her, "I love you, you're such a good mom, you're doing," just random things. Even if I had only seen her for 2 minutes that morning, it's like she always knew that there was something going on or whatever the case may be, and she just always always was like that uplifting, positive light that you need in a friend that you could always count on.
She had her foot in everything here at Spring Meadows Church. If a program was going on or event was going on, you knew that Mykal was going to be there and had something to do with it being a success. I found out later, it wasn't just here at Spring Meadows Church that Mykal lived for Christ. She worked at so many camps as counselors, and like I said, she did the grunt work in the kitchen. She did so much at Freed-Hardeman University, being a counselor at the camps during the summer for many years. But you would have never known that because Mykal's not one to brag on herself or tell you any of that. She always had a smile on her face. Always going, never stopping.
That Miss Mykal was always a good teacher when she was in the class with me, and she always smiled. And even when we went on the playground, she let us braid her hair, and she always played games with us, and she was always happy, and I love her so much.
My name's Sid Heffington, and I first remember Mykal from my working with her on Wednesday night. I was leading singing for the young kids, and she was involved in teaching. And I remember her having a band of yellow flowers in like a ring around her hair, and I just thought how much that reminded me of the kind of like the free-spirited hippies from the 60s. And none of the bad things about hippies were like her, but the good things about just being very free-spirited and always laughing and having a good time. I remember her that way. She would light up a room when she came in. She was pretty, but she didn't act like she knew it. And she was one of those people that you enjoyed talking with. You were glad you could be around her. I enjoyed working with her, and when I took over congregational events at our congregation, she was always there to help. She would volunteer, and she would always bring her daughter and make sure that she was learning how to help and serve in the church. And I always remember Mykal as one who was willing to serve and who was willing to do whatever needed doing. It didn't matter. She wanted to have a good time and be a part of what was going on and serve. And if you want to be a good Christian, you can take an example and be like Mykal.
Hi, my name is Tessa Schwartz, and Miss Mykal really meant a lot to me. She really had a great character about her, always happy, and she was really a shoulder to cry on if you ever had anything bad in your life happen or anything like that. She was really a true friend.
Everything about Mykal is beautiful. She is beautiful. Her attitude is beautiful. Her smile is beautiful. And anything that you wanted done, Mykal would do. She would volunteer, be the first one to volunteer for anything. She was always smiling and always encouraging to other people, and every idea that you had, she just felt like it was the greatest idea, and she would say, "Oh, that'll be so much fun, let's go do that." And she would be jumping up and down and saying, "That's a great idea." And she was always touching the lives of other people, especially children. She taught children in Bible school, and she taught children at a preschool, and she was such an inspiration to those children that those children would look at her and think, "I want to grow up and be like Mykal," because Mykal reflected Christ in everything that she did. She realized that the choices that you make up your whole life. Your whole life is made up of the choices that you make, and she always made those good choices. To us, Mykal will always be forever young. She will be forever beautiful, and she will be forever with us. She's never left.
My, what a beautiful video. What great compliments to a life well lived. As I've listened to these things, I've thought we need to be real careful not to speak of Mykal in the past. She's not past. She's present. She may not be in our face right now with her big smile, but she lives on. She is more beautiful. Mykal is more vivacious. Mykal is more infectious. She has all the traits she ever had before. only now she's perfect as well. What a beautiful life that Mykal has. We're blessed to be a part of that. We're blessed that she will have an influence through friends and family, and we're blessed that we get to enjoy the fruit of the memory of all the good times that we had with this beautiful person. I was talking to a good friend the week that Mykal had her accident, and I thought about, he said something really, really powerful. He said what set Mykal Daniels apart from anybody else is she was a person without jealousy. She just loved everybody, and she wasn't jealous of anybody. She liked it when people were happy, and she wanted to enjoy that happiness. I hope we'll embody the traits that we've seen in her that will make us more like her, because we all believe that she was a whole lot like Jesus.